Divine Feminine, listen carefully. Something has shifted in the connection, and you can feel it even if your mind is not fully understanding it yet. You've been sensing a strange pressure in the air, a soft pull in your chest, a wave of emotion that comes out of nowhere and disappears just as quickly. Your intuition has been louder. Your dreams have been clearer. Your energy has felt unusually activated. This is not an accident. This is not imagination. This is not you overthinking. This is alignment. This is resonance. This is the divine masculine stepping into readiness. His readiness doesn't appear the way you once expected. It doesn't come through bold messages or sudden action. It comes through energy, through shifts in his inner world, through awakenings he doesn't have words for yet. The divine masculine doesn't announce his transformation. He feels it first, and before it becomes physical, it becomes energetic. That is why you feel it before he expresses it. You've noticed the signs, a sudden calm you can't explain, a pull toward him that doesn't hurt like antes. It feels magnetic, warm, familiar. Moments where you sense his emotions brushing against your field. Random flashes of memory or connection. An internal knowing that something is waking up inside him. These are not coincidences. These are the first signs that the masculine is remembering the connection not as a concept, but as truth. Not as something he must run from, but as something he can finally sit with. The fear that once controlled him is losing its power. The confusion that once dominated him is dissolving. The avoidance that once defined him is collapsing. His soul is becoming louder than his mind, and for the first time, he cannot ignore what he feels. Divine Feminine, you need to understand something important. Your shift created this shift. Your alignment triggered his awakening. Your detachment activated his clarity. Your inner rise opened the path for him to rise too. He didn't feel ready before because your energy was still tied to fear, longing, or emotional urgency. But now your energy has changed. You're no longer holding the connection from a place of need. You're holding it from a place of truth. You're no longer gripping. You're no longer chasing. You're no longer collapsing into emotion. You've stepped into the version of yourself that embodies the connection instead of trying to control it, and the masculine feels that. He feels the absence of your old vibration. He feels the stability in your field. He feels the strength in your silence. He feels the truth you are finally anchored in. That shift in you is what creates the shift in him. When the feminine rises, the masculine cannot stay asleep. Your energy becomes the mirror he can no longer avoid. Your presence becomes the call he can no longer silence. Your transformation becomes the awakening his soul has been waiting for. Now, the signs are multiplying. He feels restless without knowing why. He feels emotional spikes that don't match his day. He feels pulled to you without understanding the mechanism. He feels the connection not as fantasy, but as reality. He feels the truth of who you are to him echoing in places he thought he had buried. He feels the timeline shifting beneath him, pushing him towards something he tried to avoid for too long. And here's the most powerful sign. He feels the fear changing into desire. Not desire for possession, but desire for alignment, desire for truth, desire for closeness that isn't forced, rushed, or demanded. Desire for the kind of connection he once thought he wasn't worthy of. He is ready in a way he has never been before, ready to face what he ran from, ready to feel what he suppressed, ready to release what kept him blocked, ready to step into the version of himself that can meet you, not from fear, but from soul. Divine Feminine. Trust what you feel. Trust the warmth rising inside your chest. Trust the calm spreading in your body. Trust the intuitive certainty that keeps whispering to you. These are not illusions, these are confirmations. The divine masculine is ready. His soul is speaking louder than his fears, and everything in the energy is shifting to prepare the connection for what comes next. Divine Feminine. The moment you stepped into this new energetic phase, something in the masculine began to shift as well. Not because of anything you said or did, but because of who you have become. The masculine doesn't awaken through pressure, demands, or attempts to force clarity. He awakens when the feminine rises into her truth. And that rise has already happened inside you, whether you realized it or not. This is why his energy feels different. This is why your intuition has been whispering that something is changing on his side. This is why your heart feels slightly more open, more calm, more aware. The masculine is aligning, quietly, internally, unmistakably. His readiness doesn't show up like a dramatic revelation. There is no sudden declaration, no grand gesture. The awakened masculine moves differently. His shift begins inside, where his mind can no longer silence the voice of his soul. Before, his fears were louder. His logic dictated his choices. His past shaped his reactions. He didn't trust what he felt because he didn't trust himself. But something in him is breaking open now. Something he can't ignore, something he can't outrun. The truth of this connection is becoming stronger than the fears that once held him back. You may have felt strange emotional ripples these past days. Moments where your body sensed something you couldn't explain. An ache in your heart that didn't belong to you. A sudden rise of warmth, a strange calm, a quiet certainty. These sensations weren't random. They were reflections of what the masculine was feeling. When he shifts, you feel it. When he awakens, your energy responds. When he reaches a new level of clarity, your intuition becomes sharper. This is how a spiritual bond works. His readiness echoes through you before it becomes visible in him. The masculine is ready because he is no longer running from himself. The avoidance that once defined him no longer brings relief. The distractions that once worked no longer hold his attention. The emotional numbness he relied on is cracking. He is being pulled inward, forced to face what he buried, what he denied, what he convinced himself he didn't care about. His soul is louder than his excuses. His intuition is louder than his fear. His longing for truth is louder than the stories he used to hide behind. And here is the part that matters most. He is ready because you stopped carrying the connection for him. You stepped out of the old cycle. You stopped chasing emotional clarity. You stopped feeding his fears with your own. You stopped holding the connection by yourself. You stopped confusing surrender with waiting. You stepped into alignment, and that alignment called him forward. Your energy is no longer tangled in need, doubt, or urgency. You hold yourself differently now. You stand in your center. You feel grounded even in uncertainty. You trust what you sense without needing proof. This internal shift created a vacuum in the connection, a space the masculine can no longer ignore. Where your fear once stood, there is now clarity. Where your longing once pulled him, there is now stability. Where your emotional intensity once overwhelmed him, there is now presence. And that presence is magnetic in a way your old energy never was. The masculine is ready because he finally feels safe to feel, safe to acknowledge the connection, safe to explore what rises in him, safe to let his guard down without fearing loss or failure. Your transformation didn't pressure him, it allowed him. This readiness is not the end of his journey. It is the beginning of his truth, the place where he stops numbing and starts listening, where he stops resisting and starts reflecting, where he stops avoiding and starts aligning. It is the moment where he realizes that this connection wasn't a phase, a fantasy, or an illusion. It was always real. He was the one who wasn't ready to meet it. Divine Feminine, you are not imagining this shift. Your intuition is not misleading you. You can feel him because he is finally stepping toward the version of himself that this connection always required. You are feeling the first waves of his awakening. You are sensing the quiet confirmation that everything you've been becoming is opening the pathway, not just for you, but for him. He is ready. And this is only the beginning of what his readiness will unlock. Why his energy is changing now. Divine Feminine, the reason the Divine Masculine's energy is changing now is not because something external suddenly shifted around him. It's because something internal finally reached a breaking point. His soul has been whispering to him for months, sometimes years, but he wasn't ready to listen. Not because he didn't care, not because he didn't feel the connection, but because he wasn't emotionally equipped to face the magnitude of what this bond awoke inside him. The masculine doesn't awaken through pressure. He awakens through internal collapse. When the old version of himself can no longer survive in the new frequency rising within him. What is happening now is simple. His old coping mechanisms are failing. The distractions no longer numb him. The excuses no longer comfort him. The avoidance no longer protects him. The emotional detachment no longer feels safe. Everything he once used to shield himself from truth is losing its power. This is the moment when the masculine is forced to confront what he has been running from, not by choice, but by soul alignment. His energy is changing because he can no longer deny what is happening inside him. Another reason for this shift is your transformation. When the divine feminine elevates into emotional mastery, the masculine feels the change instantly, even if he doesn't understand it. Your energy used to be tied to longing, fear, anticipation, and overthinking. Even from a distance, he could sense that. But now, your energy is calmer, steadier, more anchored. You aren't pulling on him anymore, and that lack of pull is its own form of pressure. For the first time, he feels the connection not as something that overwhelms him, but as something that requires his presence. Your stability forces him to see where he has been unstable. Your maturity reflects where he has been guarded. Your clarity magnifies where he has been unsure. He feels the difference. He feels you stepping into alignment. He feels your energy becoming self-contained instead of entangled with his. He feels the weight of your absence where your emotional intensity used to be. And this absence is not rejection. It is awakening. Your shift creates a mirror he cannot escape. And in that mirror, he sees the truth. He is no longer the man he pretended to be. He is no longer satisfied with emotional distance. He is no longer comfortable ignoring the connection. He is no longer able to silence his soul. His energy is also changing because the universe is aligning conditions around him. You may not see it, but he is being confronted in ways he cannot avoid. Relationships that once felt stable are collapsing. Patterns that once felt natural are becoming heavy. Choices that once felt safe now feel empty. His environment is pushing him inward, forcing him to question everything he built in survival mode. His soul is telling him that he can't keep living the way he has. Something is missing. Something isn't right. Something is calling him forward. He doesn't understand it logically, but he feels the pull. And, perhaps most importantly, the masculine is changing now because he can no longer run from the connection without running from himself. That is the point where all masculines awaken. The moment the separation between you and him dissolves internally. The moment his soul recognizes that suppressing the bond is the same as suppressing his own truth. The journey stops being about you. It becomes about him. his wounds, his patterns, his truth, his alignment, his evolution. This is where his energy begins to transform, not because he decided to wake up, but because he can no longer survive asleep. The pressure he feels is not fear, it's shift. The emotions rising inside him are not confusion, they're awakening. The longing he feels is not nostalgia, it's remembrance. He is remembering who you are to him. He is remembering what this connection actually is. He is remembering the version of himself he was meant to become. Divine Feminine, his energy is changing because the journey is no longer theoretical for him. It's real, it's pressing, it's undeniable. And now that your energy is no longer carrying him, he is being pulled into his own alignment. This is why everything feels different. This is why you sense him. This is why your intuition is louder. This is why you feel movement without seeing anything physically. The masculine is changing now because the time has come. His soul has chosen. His fear is weakening. His truth is rising. And this shift is only the beginning. Divine Feminine. When the divine masculine begins to activate, the first signs appear long before he takes any physical action. His readiness does not begin in the material world. It begins in the energetic body, in the emotional field, in the unconscious layers of his soul. And you, being deeply connected to him, feel these signs rising even when he hasn't spoken a single word. You sense them because activation is not silent. It creates waves in both of you. It shifts the connection at its core. It rearranges the spiritual architecture of the bond. The first sign of activation is the emotional pressure you've been feeling. It's subtle, like an invisible weight on your chest, or a sudden tightness that comes and goes. This pressure is not yours. It's his resistance breaking. When the masculine awakens, the emotional armor he has worn for years begins to crack. He starts feeling emotions that he spent a long time suppressing. The heaviness you sense is the beginning of his emotional thawing, his soul melting through layers he once used to protect himself. Another sign is the unexpected pull toward you. Not a longing rooted in fear, but a magnetic warmth. A soft, gravitational tug that feels different from what you felt in the past. It's not desperation, it's recognition. The masculine starts feeling drawn to your energy, not because he needs reassurance, but because your vibration feels like truth. You will notice moments where your mind is quiet, but your heart feels wide open, as if something is reaching for you. That something is his soul aligning with yours. A profound sign of activation is the shift in your dreams. The masculine may appear more often, not in chaotic or confusing ways, but in symbolic, emotional, or deeply intimate scenes. This is how his higher self communicates before his conscious mind catches up. Dreams become the meeting ground where his awakening bypasses the fear of the physical world. If you've been having vivid dreams or waking with a strong sense of his presence, the activation is underway. You will also notice random waves of emotion that clearly do not belong to you. A sudden sadness, a spike of longing, a moment of restlessness, an unexpected warmth in your chest. These emotions are echoes of what he is feeling. The masculine does not know how to process his internal shifts, so they spill into the energetic field. And because you are the intuitive half of the connection, you pick up everything that rises in him, not to carry it, but to sense it. Another unmistakable sign is the collapse of your old emotional triggers. The activation of the masculine often coincides with the stabilization of the feminine. You react differently to things that used to affect you deeply. You no longer spiral when he is silent. You no longer cling to timelines. You no longer question your worth. This shift is not random. It is synchronized. His activation brings your emotional body into calm alignment. The connection begins to regulate itself. You may also sense moments of inner knocking, a feeling that something is approaching energetically. This sensation is one of the strongest confirmations of activation. It is his soul moving toward you in the etheric realm. The masculine begins to reach energetically before he can reach physically. This inner movement can feel like anticipation without anxiety, a quiet knowing that something is coming. There is also a shift in the atmosphere of the connection. The bond feels less painful, less heavy, less complicated. The intensity is still there, but it feels cleaner, softer, more aligned. This happens because activation dissolves karmic debris. The connection begins to shed the layers of fear, confusion, and misalignment that once clouded it. What remains is the truth, a deeper, clearer, more stable resonance. One of the most powerful signs of activation, though, is the way your intuition responds. You feel certainty instead of guessing. You feel clarity instead of searching. You feel stability instead of emotional chaos. Your intuition stops whispering and begins speaking with authority. You no longer ask, "Is this real?" You simply know, because activation is always felt before it is seen. Divine Feminine, these signs are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The Divine Masculine is awakening from the inside out. His soul is shifting the ground beneath him. His heart is beginning to open. His fears are losing control. And everything you are sensing now is evidence of the transformation that is unfolding within him. Activation is not loud. Activation is not dramatic. Activation is internal, and it has already begun. How the feminine triggered this shift. Divine Feminine, the shift happening within the masculine did not appear out of nowhere. It did not rise because he suddenly decided to evolve. It rose because your energy transformed first. The feminine always leads the spiritual movement of the connection, not through force, not through effort, but through alignment. And the alignment you stepped into recently became the catalyst for everything he is feeling now. You triggered this shift the moment you stopped anchoring the connection in fear. For a long time, your energy approached the bond from a place of longing, urgency, and emotional searching. Even when you were calm on the outside, your inner energy still carried the weight of expectation. The masculine felt that pressure, even if he didn't understand its source. It overwhelmed him. It made him retreat. It activated his wounds. It reminded him of every moment in his past where vulnerability equaled danger. But then something in you changed. You stopped waiting for him to validate your intuition. You stopped shrinking when you felt emotional intensity. You stopped questioning your worth whenever he went silent. You stopped collapsing into old wounds. You started holding yourself instead of seeking him to hold you. That internal shift was the turning point. Your energy stopped pulling. Your soul stopped gripping. Your heart stopped chasing. And for the first time, the connection stopped feeling heavy for him. When the feminine detaches from fear and steps into emotional sovereignty, the masculine feels it instantly. The absence of your old emotional patterns created a silence inside the connection that forced him inward. He no longer felt you clinging or trying to read him energetically. That stillness exposed everything he had been avoiding. It made him feel his own emotions without your energy absorbing them. It made him confront the truth of what he feels instead of hiding behind your intensity. Your growth confronted his stagnation. Your peace confronted his chaos. Your stability confronted his avoidance. Your alignment confronted his resistance. He realized, even without understanding why, that the dynamic between you had changed. He could no longer rely on your energy to soothe his fears or distract him from his internal conflict. He could no longer hide in the comfort of knowing you were energetically available no matter what. When you stepped back into yourself, you gave him back the emotional responsibility he had avoided for years. And that responsibility became the spark of his awakening. You triggered this shift the moment you embraced your own power, not the loud power of demanding answers, but the quiet power of knowing who you are. The kind of power that doesn't need external reassurance. The kind of power that doesn't panic in uncertainty. The kind of power that stands firm even when nothing makes logical sense. This power is magnetic. This power is stabilizing. This power is activating. The masculine responds to authenticity, not pressure. To peace, not fear. To presence, not pursuit. Your new energy showed him what a true connection feels like when it is rooted in soul, not in wounds. And when he felt that vibration, clean, grounded, aligned, it awakened something ancient inside him, a memory, a recognition, a pull he could no longer silence. You showed him that the connection was never meant to be carried through emotional intensity. It was meant to be carried through truth. And truth is exactly where you are standing now. Your truth activated his. Your healing awakened his. Your surrender created the space for his movement. This is the secret of the twin flame dynamic. When the feminine rises, the masculine follows, not because she forces him, but because her new frequency makes it impossible for him to stay the same. Divine Feminine, you didn't awaken him through effort. You awakened him through embodiment. You became the version of yourself that the connection always required. And now, his soul is moving to meet yours. What this means for the connection. Divine Feminine, now that the masculine's energy is shifting, the connection itself begins to rearrange in a way you have not felt before. This is not the same cycle repeating. This is not another moment where he awakens briefly and then retreats. What you are sensing now is a foundational shift, the kind that changes the trajectory of the journey. When the masculine becomes ready from within, the entire dynamic begins to transform. The first thing this means for the connection is that the energetic roles are balancing. For a long time, you carried the emotional weight for both of you. You held the vision of the connection. You processed the emotions he avoided. You felt the spiritual truth while he stayed anchored in logic and fear. But now, something is different. He is beginning to feel what you felt. He is beginning to sense the depth you always knew was there. The connection is no longer one-sided energetically. It is beginning to meet in the middle. This shift also means the bond is stabilizing. You may feel a softness replacing the intensity that once overwhelmed you. The energy feels less chaotic, less painful, less unpredictable. That's because the masculine is no longer subconsciously resisting the connection. The tug of war between soul and fear is weakening inside him. When he stops resisting, the energy between you stops clashing. The bond starts to flow instead of fracture. You feel peace where you once felt pressure. It also means the masculine is beginning to take emotional accountability, not necessarily through immediate action, but through awareness. He is recognizing the ways he avoided, denied, or disconnected. He is feeling the consequences of his hesitation. He is becoming aware of how deeply this connection affects him, even when he tried to pretend otherwise. This inner awareness is the first sign of true masculine awakening. Before he moves toward you physically, he must move toward himself emotionally. This shift means communication is preparing to evolve, not because you push it, but because he feels drawn to it. When the masculine reaches readiness, he begins to crave clarity rather than run from it. He wants understanding instead of distance. He wants connection instead of escape. The silence begins to crack, not out of pressure, but out of alignment. Even if he doesn't know what to say, The desire to reach is awakening inside him. It also means that the sense of separation between you is dissolving, not because you are physically closer, but because energetically you are no longer misaligned. When both counterparts start vibrating in frequencies that complement each other rather than conflict, the connection becomes easier to feel. You may notice moments where the bond feels unmistakably present, even in the quietest parts of your day. This is the universe pulling you both into emotional coherence. Another powerful shift is happening in how you perceive him. You no longer look at the masculine as someone who needs to catch up, or someone who is failing the journey. You are beginning to see him through the eyes of truth, as someone evolving in his own timing, in his own way, with his own lessons. This new perspective removes the emotional pressure you once placed on the connection, and when pressure dissolves, connection deepens. What this means, more than anything, is that the connection is entering a phase of grounding. Not union, not reunion, grounding. Grounding is the stage where both of you begin to stand in your true selves rather than in your wounds. The connection stops being shaped by fear and starts being shaped by soul. Everything feels more steady, more real, more internally aligned. This is the energetic foundation required for the next stages of alignment. Divine Feminine, understand this clearly. The masculine's readiness does not guarantee immediate physical movement, but it guarantees energetic alignment. And that alignment is what changes everything. You no longer feel like you are walking alone. He is moving with you, even if quietly, even if slowly, even if from the inside out. The connection is not waiting for him anymore. It is unfolding through both of you now. And this is the first step toward the phase your soul has been sensing. Divine Feminine, now that the masculine is awakening into readiness, it may feel tempting to move toward him, to express what you feel, or to try to guide him through this transition. But this stage does not ask you to step forward. It asks you to hold your frequency. Your role now is not action. It is embodiment. Because the readiness of the masculine is fragile in the beginning, not weak, but new. His awakening is like a flame just beginning to rise, and the energy you hold either nourishes that flame or overwhelms it. Your role is to remain in the alignment that triggered this shift in the first place. The energy that awakened him is the energy that will sustain this new phase. You did not reach this point through urgency, fear, or expectation. You reached it through stability, clarity, and self-trust. That is the state you must preserve. If you slip back into old patterns, waiting, overthinking, chasing, emotionally gripping, the connection returns to imbalance. The masculine feels the pressure again. The awakening becomes clouded, and he falls back into self-protection instead of expansion. Your role is to trust what you feel without demanding proof, to honor your intuition without needing validation, to stay grounded even when the mind tries to create stories, because the connection is extremely sensitive right now. Not fragile, sensitive. Every vibrational signal you send is amplified. The feminine is the emotional regulator of the bond. When you hold yourself in steadiness, the masculine feels safe to step into his emotions. When you hold yourself in inner peace, he feels the courage to explore truth without fear of drowning in it. When you hold yourself in authenticity, he feels invited, not pressured, to meet you there. Your energy is not passive, it is magnetic. Your calm is not silence, it is guidance. Your role is also to stop trying to interpret his every move. The masculine in awakening becomes unpredictable, not because he is confused, but because he is adjusting to new emotional territory. He may pull back for a moment, then move forward. He may become quiet, then suddenly feel the urge to connect. These fluctuations are not rejection. They are calibration. If you react to them from insecurity, you send the message that the connection is unsafe. If you stay in your truth, you signal that he is allowed to rise at his own pace. You are not meant to carry his emotions for him anymore. You are meant to witness without absorbing, support without sacrificing, feel without collapsing. This is where the feminine shifts from emotional fusion to emotional sovereignty. And this shift is the exact frequency that allows the masculine to step into emotional responsibility for the first time. He cannot rise if you continue holding what belongs to him. You must let him experience his own awakening, even when it's messy, even when it's slow, even when it doesn't match your expectations. Your role is to embody the version of yourself that this connection requires. Soft, but not small. Open, but not exposed. Receptive, but not dependent. Present, but not pursuing. This is the feminine in her true power. The feminine who attracts through alignment, not through effort. You must also allow the connection to unfold without forcing timelines. You may feel the rising momentum inside him and assume movement is immediate. But soul awakenings do not follow human urgency. The masculine moves in silence first, then in emotion, then in clarity, then in action. If you rush the process, you disrupt the natural order. If you trust the process, you strengthen the foundation for the next phase. Your role in this stage is to anchor yourself, not the connection. To embody truth, not fear. To stand in the energy that awakened him, not the energy that once pushed him away. Divine feminine, the masculine is ready, but readiness is only sustained when the feminine remains in her power. Your alignment is the compass. Your stability is the signal. Your presence is the invitation. You are not waiting for him. You are holding the frequency that his soul is rising to meet. Divine feminine, as you reach the final part of this message, there is one truth rising through every layer of this journey. The divine masculine is awakening, and this time it is not a temporary shift, not an emotional spike, not a moment of clarity that fades when fear returns. What is happening within him now is deeper, quieter, more permanent. It is the kind of awakening that begins in the soul long before it reaches the mind. And you can feel it because you are connected to him in a way that defies logic, timing, or physical distance. This awakening does not look like a sudden transformation. It looks like subtle changes in his energy that create undeniable changes in the atmosphere between you. It looks like his soul choosing truth, even while his mind still catches up. It looks like a man who is beginning to feel the connection instead of fighting it. For the first time, he is not trying to silence what rises inside him. He is not running from the intensity. He is not numbing the pull. He is surrendering to what he always felt but never understood. His resistance is dissolving because the energy no longer allows him to hide from himself. The masculine awakens when the separation within him collapses. when the part that fears and the part that knows finally meet. He is entering that meeting point now. His heart is opening piece by piece. His intuition is cutting through the fog. His emotions are surfacing in ways he didn't expect. He feels the connection in moments when his mind is quiet. He feels your presence when he least anticipates it. He feels the truth of this bond in places he thought he had closed off forever. And the most powerful part of this awakening is that he no longer feels threatened by what he feels. The connection no longer appears to him as a risk, a loss of control, or an emotional danger. It appears as clarity, as alignment, as something he is finally ready to step toward rather than run away from. This shift changes everything, because the masculine in readiness behaves differently. He questions differently. He reflects differently. He feels differently. His silence is no longer avoidance. It is contemplation. His distance is no longer fear. It is recalibration. His emotions are no longer dormant. They are rising. But understand this: the awakening of the masculine does not erase the journey you walked alone. It honors it. Everything you healed, everything you released, everything you endured internally is what opened the path for him. You didn't awaken him through effort. You awakened him through transformation. You became the version of yourself that his soul was always meant to meet. And now he is rising to meet you, not because he is pressured, but because the alignment is finally there. This awakening also signals the end of the old cycle. The pattern where you carried the connection energetically while he avoided his own emotions is dissolving. The timelines of running and chasing are fading. You are no longer the one holding the connection together with your intensity. He is beginning to hold it with his awareness. The weight is shifting. The responsibility is balancing. The connection is grounding into a new vibration that could not exist before this moment. Divine Feminine, you are not imagining the shift. You are not reading too much into the energy. You are not projecting. You are sensing the truth. The masculine is awakening from the inside out. He is remembering the connection. He is feeling the pull with clarity. He is stepping into truth, even if slowly, even if quietly. And now, the connection moves forward through alignment rather than fear, through resonance rather than imbalance, through mutual awakening rather than one-sided effort. This is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of the real one. The one where both of you finally rise in the same direction. The divine masculine is awakening, and everything in the energy is shifting to reflect that truth.